Greetings, everyone. My name is Alan Townsend, or also known as Jedi Joe, your host on the Roundtable. As always, we have the Knights of the Roundtable. Uh, our Executive Vice President, Mr. Larry Garrett, is not here with us tonight. He is celebrating with his son, Peter Beltnick. Today is his birthday. He turned 22. So, everybody, I hope that you will wish Mr. Peter a happy birthday. I remember seeing that young boy, which is now a man, grown up quite a bit, and happy birthday to Peter. As always, in my corner, we have the vice president of 757 Geek Fandoms and the magic behind all this TV show, Mr. Calibus Rand and the Cosmic Portal. A big thank you to you, sir. So, guys, every Wednesday night we come around together. We meet together. We talk about the fandoms. We talk about different things. But tonight we do a segment which what I call the mystery topic and mystery host. So, Calibus, is it you? Brad, did I call you? Guess not.
Nope.
Lady Gray, did I write you for this?
No,
I mean, are you kidding? I mean, are we kidding? I didn't have a special guest. Oh man, we don't have a topic. Wrong, guys. I enlisted one of our newest members on the roundtable, but has been a very, very strong force with us. None other than, and we met him at one of the conventions and came to our panels and everything. So, guys, I'd like to introduce Mr. Marky Mark as our mystery host and mystery topic. And, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I wanted to let you know this week I wanted to talk about my love of DC the animated universe. I think they've come out with some really great movies. They've been putting out some great anime for close to probably about 10, 15 years now. And these movies are as close as you're going to get to the comic books. They're definitely not written for kids, so they know who they're marketing their movies to. And I guess right now we're looking at about 49 different animated movies that they've come out with so far. I just like to take a few minutes to discuss like my favorite 5 Justice League movies that have come out that you should definitely go and take a look at. So as you can see, there have been so many great movies. They've gone from like, what is it, The Death of Superman, and then one of my favorites is The Flashpoint, which is just like the comic book. And that rebooted the DC animated universe, which brings us to our first movie, which is going to be Justice League War. And I actually have that with me right here. So this was the first movie that came out in 2014. Right here. It came out in 2014 after the reboot of the Flash Paradox. And it gives you an introduction. It's actually a origin story for Cyborg, and then it gives you an introduction of the Justice League that they're using at this point, which would be Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Cyborg, and Shazam. So I think for me, I'd like to ask everybody what would be their favorite origin story from any of the DC that you've seen come out.
Well, I do like the 52 rebirth. Again, like you said, starting with the Flashpoint. But my favorite, of course, has to be the Batman series within that, which was Son of Batman. This is where they debuted Damian for the first time. And in the comics, when he first debuted, I really didn't like him. It took me a while to like this kid. But that whole run, that whole series of the 52 new continuity, that's what I love. And I love those ones that popped up in that order. But the Batman series out of that, because you got Son of Batman, Batman versus Robin, and then you got what was that third one?
I think you get the Bat Family with that one.
Yeah, you get the Bat, and they introduce, sadly, Batwing. And the thing that I loved about that one, because Robin kept cracking a joke, "Hey, Batwing, you want to get in the Batwing?" Kind of redundant, but yeah.
I'll jump in. Well, I'm kind of new to DC, but to pretty much the six of y'all or three or five of y'all, if you don't know, I'm a big Flash fan. My wife and I, we watch CW and everything. I actually have a comic book that I've been starting to collect called Rebirth, and Calibus actually recommended me a couple of I believe the movies that you might be talking about, and so I've started watching a few of them. But I would love to really see a good origin story, of course, maybe in a comic book version of the Flash, and of course I'm a big Green Lantern fan. So they're my two favorite DC heroes, and then of course Batman would be my third best, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think the movies are great. I've had more than one people recommended those to me.
Hey, Brad, you have a favorite origin story as well?
I'm guessing Wonder Woman would be my favorite.
Okay. Lady Gray, what's your favorite origin story?
I don't know that much about DC, but I mean, what young girl didn't grow up loving Wonder Woman? That she was so bold and so brave, and I don't know. So, I mean, Wonder Woman.
Okay. I like Wonder Woman's story as well. I thought she did for what they've done recently with it, I think it's been fantastic. Liz, what's your favorite origin story?
Well, I kind of go with Joe. I love Green Hornet. I love the Flash. I like Batman as far as, if we stick it within the Batman universe. And I'm assuming Superman is not in the DC.
Yes, he's in DC.
Well, I love Superman. Supergirl,
Okay.
Lex Luthor is one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, he is really awesome.
But yeah, if I'm going to go with them, yeah.
Okay.
There's Bishop.
Hey.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
We were just discussing origin stories in DC, and I wanted to know what was your favorite, or who was your favorite origin story if it comes to DC?
When it comes to DC, my favorite origin story?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're talking about the DC animated universe.
Animated universe, though.
Animated
the
universe.
New one, remember? Yeah.
My favorite origin story. It would have to be the Red Hood.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That story was just awesome. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to beat that, in my opinion.
That was actually a great movie too. I love that story when it comes to the animated universe.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the new one where you got to choose the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Choose your fate.
That was tight. There's actually a DVD, guys, where you get to choose the way Batman deals with the death of Robin, and depending on how you choose it, it could be totally good or take it the whole villain route.
Yeah. That's a pretty good movie. All right, so the second movie I would like to discuss, which would be the second in this series, is called Justice League Throne of Atlantis. And this is another origin story based on for Aquaman to let him know how he got his ability, well, not his abilities, but just how he joined the team and how he had to deal with being a land dweller, half human, half Atlantean, and then also dealing with his brother, what he had to do with that, and maybe possibly meeting his mother in that also. Um, I can say prior to the reboot of Aquaman, I was never a huge fan. I mean, I guess as a kid, I did watch Aquaman a lot, where he talked to the fish, he rode the seahorse, but I didn't think he was a really cool character. But I do have to say, after this, he's like one of my favorite. I love what he does underwater as well as on land. He's a real great character, and they've done so much with him recently. And I guess I'd like to ask everybody again, how does everybody else feel about the new Aquaman compared to what you've seen probably as a kid with the old Aquaman show? I guess Jedi Joe, I'll start with you.
Oh, I agree. I'm like you, Mark. Uh, Aquaman, yes, he was part of the Super Friends. He was, he talked to fish, and he really didn't have a cool looking costume, if you might say. But what I did enjoy is when they actually brought him on in the movies. Jason Momoa plays a good part. He saw a lot of cool stuff, so I think they really pumped him up, kind of like turned our Aquaman on steroids or something. So thoroughly pleased with this new Aquaman for sure.
I have to agree with that because, like I said, it was never really any good. But to show that he has, he's almost invulnerable, which I think is kind of cool. He's, powerful because he spends a lot of time underwater. But yeah, when I originally saw it, he just talked to fish, and then he could pull his hand back and get a water ball and throw it at people, but that was about it. So a much needed improvement that they've done with him. Calibus, what do you think about Aquaman?
Well, he was a joke. Seriously, he was a joke. I mean, come on, Family Guy lampooned him all the time. And you guys got to remember, if he was out of water 24 hours, he would dry up. He could talk to the fish, but he was a joke. He was a joke. Unless you were around water, he was kind of a useless superhero. Then they rebooted him in the 52 continuity. Then we found out that him being under all that water and all that pressure made him super strong. Like you said, he was just as strong as Superman. Then he had the trident, and that was magical, which still gave him a run for the money worth, for Superman. Then they explained that he doesn't actually talk to the fish. He does something to, I don't know, manipulate them to do whatever it is that he's willing them to do. But in that new 52, especially that Throne of Atlantis, we get to see a stronger character, but also somebody that's kind of vulnerable at the same time because he knows he's of the land and he's of the sea. I love the ending too because that's when you get to see the trench monsters that we got to see in the movie.
Absolutely. Miss Liz, what's your take on Aquaman?
Well, I was always an Aquaman fan. I collected the comic books. They were like my favorites. And then and I love what they did with him in the movies. They did a really good job with him in the movies. And I think they did a very good job of booting him up. I think they've done a very good job. And I hope we get to see more of him.
Absolutely. Lady Gray, do you have any thoughts on Aquaman?
So be honest, sitting there thinking back to Saturday morning cartoons, I don't really even remember him being in Justice League, which I guess is kind of telling in itself that he didn't make that much of an impression. I remember like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, but I don't even remember him being in there. I guess he was, but and not gonna lie, red-blooded female, who doesn't like Jason Momoa? But I actually kind of found it a little bit choppy in the movies. It was kind of like he was a kid and then he was adult and he could magically talk to fish. I kind of had a little trouble following it. I don't know, but maybe that was just me and I was tired or something when I watched it. Who knows?
Okay. What about you, Brad? How do you feel about Aquaman?
Well, I think he's getting treated a lot better now than he did back in the 70s. When the Super Friends was on, if you weren't Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Zan and Jaina with their space monkey Gleek as the comic relief, then you were a background character. Didn't matter if you were Aquaman, Cherokee Chief, Green Lantern, you were just a sidekick.
That's true. That's real true. They sure didn't treat him well or any of the other characters. Bishop, your take on Aquaman?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like him better now than they have treated him in the past. I mean, Throne of Atlantis, and what was the sequel? Oh no, it was in Flashpoint, was it?
Flashpoint,
Where
yeah.
where the
Flashpoint,
Atlanteans,
the Atlanteans versus
the Amazons.
the Amazons, yeah.
That was awesome.
He was no joke in that one.
He was no joke. I mean, look, him and Wonder Woman were having sex in front of Queen Mira.
Well, Wonder Woman killed Mira, yeah.
When Wonder Woman kills Mira.
Took her head off, wore her crown.
Yeah, I was just like, damn, okay. Yeah, so Aquaman is definitely getting treated better than he was in the past. He's definitely a cooler character.
Most definitely. All right. Jedi Joe, you have something?
Was this an adult version that I didn't know about, or what?
That's what I was saying. The DC animated universe is not for children. It's more of an adult-oriented storylines. They don't pull punches. They will let you know how it is.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I was telling you, Joe. Remember when I kept telling you you have to see these certain ones?
Yeah.
Flashpoint. You start with Flashpoint. And
the order, you really should watch them in the order that they were released.
Start with that Flashpoint, though.
Continuity.
The Flashpoint, and then it goes into Justice League War, Son of Batman, then Throne of Atlantis. And the thing that ends it all is Justice League Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And that ends the DC universe. I mean, to be honest with you, and you guys know, I'm a huge DC fan. I love all my Snyder cuts and all that other stuff. But that storyline was better than the storyline we got in the movies.
And I think if they would actually do these storylines that they do in these animated movies, the theaters would be packed all the time because they come out with some great stories. They're able to put together some really great ideas. And, I think people would really want to see it as a live action movie. So it's really good. Well, the next movie that I want to talk about is Justice League Dark. This one introduces the darker side of DC. So you're going to be getting Constantine, which, you're getting introduced Edredin the Demon, the Dead Man in this story. So all of these characters that they don't spend a lot of time talking about, they talk about in this movie. And they bring it in with the Justice League. So Batman is a part of the story, but they're trying to fight something really dark. And you also see Swamp Thing used to almost his full potential. Instead of just being some guy in the forest doing whatever, they actually show what Swamp Thing can actually do as a character. It's one of my favorite stories, especially because you get to see Constantine, which is an amazing character, better than what they've done. I know you said some people have watched him on the CW with the Legends of Tomorrow. he's not that type of character. But when it comes to the cartoons, that's who Constantine is, and he's one of my favorites. I'd have to ask though, everybody, has anybody ever paid attention to the darker side of DC, and who would be your favorite dark character? I guess I'll start with you first, Brad.
To be honest, I've never really paid attention to the dark side.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bishop, do you have a favorite dark character?
Well, if you're talking about the animated, then it would be a toss up between Constantine and Zatanna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Liz, do you know any of the dark characters?
Nope, I never paid any attention to the dark side. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Lady Gray, how about you? You know any of the dark characters?
I don't know anything from the anime, but I do actually remember. Gosh, it's probably been a couple decades ago. Y'all remember there was a Swamp Thing TV show that I absolutely loved, and it got canceled. I don't know. Yes. I guess I was the only one who loved it, but I loved it.
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah, there was one that was on about.
Didn't last long.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, they had one that was on about 3 or 4 years ago that lasted one season because they were filming it in North Carolina, but they didn't get a tax break, so they stopped. They canceled it after the first episode, and they aired all 12 episodes on, I think it's DC Universe, when they had their app channel. So that was the only way you could watch it, and it had 12. It was a great show, but it only lasted the one season.
I think Prime actually had it for a little bit too, because I watched it somewhere.
Okay.
That one, because it reminded me of the old one, and I like the old one.
It's a great show, but yeah, it got canceled quick. Jedi Joe, do you know any of the dark characters?
If I'm not mistaken, well, one, I love Constantine, and then I have a question for you, Mark, afterwards. Well, I didn't know this until me and my wife got into it, but from the separate TV show to what you're talking about now, I would say my two favorite would be Constantine, and then of course Lucifer.
Okay.
And then just in the TV show, he was just kind of this, he was kind of like Superman, but his kryptonite was, of course, the woman that he was around. And I don't know how true that is to the comics, but I guess my question to you is the Constantine from the TV show. I actually met Matt Ryan, and me and my son met him at one of the conventions. Really nice guy, very, very nice guy. But did you like Keanu Reeves as playing Constantine?
Okay, so I will say it was a okay movie, but I do like the guy on the TV show way better. I thought he actually embodied the character. Keanu Reeves played a character called Constantine. Is the way I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So no, I didn't. I mean, the movie was okay, but it really wasn't the Constantine character to me.
Mm.
That's how I would look at it. And
okay.
That's the difference between those two.
Now I saw something. If I could, I saw this picture. It was like what you call the dark characters, but it had Constantine, it had Blade, I think it had Ghost Rider, but isn't Ghost Rider and Blade, ain't they Marvel?
Yeah,
that's the Sons of Midnight.
Okay.
Midnight Suns, yeah, that's something totally different.
Oh, okay.
And if I may,
Miss Liz, you have a question?
I didn't know. I never thought of Constantine as being the dark side because I saw him in the TV series. I liked the actor who played him, and I thought he did a really good job. But I never put the connection between him and Keanu Reeves. I thought they were totally different.
Yeah,
They didn't connect at all.
right. Yeah, it's like I said, Keanu Reeves played a character called Constantine, where the TV show was Constantine. And the reason that he's dark is because he deals a lot with demons. He enslaves demons to do his bidding. So that's why he's not going to be with the regular Justice League characters. Calibus, who's your favorite dark character?
Etrigan, the demon.
I love him, especially when he rhymes everything he says.
Yeah, that's why I like it because plus he just kicks butt. You know what I mean? And one of the few characters that hangs out with Batman like that.
Yeah,
I really dig it. I really dig that.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one.
I need to make an amendment to my choice.
Okay.
You could take Zatanna and Constantine and take them away. And I forgot Dr. Fate. I'll take Fate.
Dr. Fate. Yeah, that's a good one too. And actually, we're going to see him live action when it comes to Black Adam coming up soon. So.
Yes.
Right, Pierce Brosnan is playing.
Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited about that. All right, my next movie, which Calibus already mentioned, is going to be Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. So this would be the conclusion of the new order of this block of movies, because after this it reboots again with another Flashpoint. So, but this one actually, if you watch every one of them, you're gonna see a cohesion throughout every single one of these movies. And there's something that happened in the Justice League War that caused this to happen, and pretty much we're looking at just about all of the Justice League either dying or, surrendering or just, being hurt before things can get better, which is fantastic. In this movie, though, you actually do get to see Trigon, the demon, who is, I guess if you watched Teen Titans and Raven, he's the person that's inside her, that little piece that she has on her forehead that's always talking to her to drive her crazy. And you get to see Trigon fight against Darkseid, to see them actually battling, to see who would actually win with that type of battle. And I guess my question for everybody with this one, because they keep resetting it, do you think it's okay to change the past to protect the future? So this time I'm going to start with you, Jedi Joe. How do you feel about that?
Well, I guess what I have found out that's been annoying for me, and we're going to use the Flash for my example, is that of course, his great speed, he has to be very, very careful. If not, he does go back in time and messes up the timeline, and then changes everything around, and just causes a bunch of problems. I think sometimes unless you absolutely have to, maybe what Superman did in the original Superman movie, just kind of brought time back just a little bit so he could have saved her, that sort of thing. But I don't know. I think messing with time is a mistake, and it causes problems for everybody, it seems like.
That's a good answer. Thanks. Calibus, what's your answer with that one?
Yeah. I think that at the end of the apocalypse, you're given that choice. Do you fix what's broken here, or do you let it continue to go on? And depending on your situation, you know what I mean? What was it? John Wesley Shipp's Flash was talking to the TV Flash, and he told him, he breaks the teacup and then he puts it back together, but there's always fractures. There's always a miscontinuity to it because of what you did. So, again, as Jedi Joe said, depends on how bad things are.
Okay.
That's
a good answer. Brad, your response?
I think they need to leave time alone. They can cause some kind of paradox and destroy everything.
It does happen quite a bit when they change time too, though. So yeah, I have to agree with that. Lady Gray.
So many fandoms talk about it, and there never ever seems to be a good outcome. I mean, I think things happen for a reason, good and bad. And if you go back and fix one, then what does that mess up down the road? It's kind of the butterfly effect. So, yeah, I think you leave time alone.
Okay. Well, you bring that up. Jedi Joe, go ahead.
I have 4 words for you. Back to the Future. Hey, Doc Brown knew how to do it right. What can I say?
That's true. That's true. He did do it right. And I think everybody, like you said, like Lady Gray was saying, about changing the future, because like Marvel did it when they did the last movie. They went back and had to gather all of the stones from the past to correct the future. But what damage does that do to the timeline of what they did? Again, Back to the Future, when Marty went back with the book, he totally messed up the future before he got that all straightened out. So yeah, it depends on what's going on. Miss Liz, what's your thought on that?
I totally agree. You really don't know what you are. There's the butterfly effect right there. The only one I've seen ever so far is Back to the Future, where things turned out okay once they finally got everything straightened out. But generally, when you mess with time, you could really mess the world up bad. It's like that old theory. They said, let's go back in time and kill off Hitler. But, the consequences could be worse.
I was going to say, when you bring that up, Deadpool in the second movie, he went back and killed baby Hitler. Well, he said he was going to do it, but then he was like, no, I'm going to get Cable to do it because I don't want to do something like that. But he has no problem killing kids. So that's how that movie ended. I don't think you should ever really change the past, but some people feel like, oh, we can do things much better than that if we did do it. Bishop, what's your idea on that?
I think you have to leave it alone. I mean, if the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Time Cop, shows tells us anything about it, or even Star Trek, messing with time, it's not a good thing. Matter of fact, as like Liz was talking about going back and killing baby Hitler, I had saw this movie not too long ago, and it was these people, they were going back in time to stop the crucifixion of Christ. And it was a very, very interesting movie, I should say. Because if you had the ability to go back in time, think about it. You could pretty much rewrite everything, and everything that is going to change the moment you make that change. You know what I'm saying? So now you done like I think it was Brad that said, now you done created a temporal paradox, because you may not have ever been born. So how did you actually get back there to change time in the first place? And yeah, I just say you leave it alone, because for one, we don't have the wisdom to comprehend those kind of things, and we really don't know the ramifications of our actions once we make that one little change. So
when has that stopped man? When has that stopped man? Man doesn't care. We do, we do it, and then we suffer the consequences later.
Right. It only works in movies and television shows.
Never works.
and
Yeah.
TV, because Quantum Leap, that's all he did was bounce around
Right.
from timeline to timeline, changing stuff to make it all better.
Now look, if we ever got to see the parallel universe of Sam Beckett's actions, it would probably be all screwed up.
I was going to say and mention that some people didn't like the movie. I enjoyed it, but it was the remake of the Time Machine, where the scientist has I think it was his wife or fiance got killed, and no matter what, he tried to go back in time and fix it, and somehow or another he would either miss that particular time, or either she would get killed another way. It was back and forth, and finally he went so far. I think it's so far back. Uh, he kind of just realized that I can't change the time. I can't do it. I really thought that was a good movie when it comes to uh, time warping and time changing, but obviously you could tell that he ended up just wanting to die anyways because he had done all of he could, and it just made it worse.
Is that the one with Guy Pearce?
I don't know the actor's name, but it's the most recent Time Machine.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad. The ending was a little bit different from the original Time Machine because the first one, he pushed the machine outside of the building so that he could go back to be with the girl. And I know this one, he blew it up to kill the leader of the cannibals. So
Yeah.
I guess that one was that part was better, but there were certain things that I didn't like as much in the second one as I did in the original.
Gotcha.
And I was going to say, when you brought up the going back in time to keep repeating it, what's his name? If you watch What If on Disney Plus with Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
There was one story that he did that he kept trying to, instead of him having the accident where he hurt his hands, the other doctor, the female doctor that he loved, she kept dying. So he would try to go back in the past to save her life. And he ended up, if you see the new movie, he ended up destroying his universe completely, where there was nobody left except for him. He was the only person left in his universe when Doctor Strange showed up there. But so there's always ramifications doing that. All right, so the last movie I want to discuss, and this is after the reboot, would be Justice League, the Injustice League, which came out right after they rebooted after the apocalypse. This one is really based on the video game, if you've ever played, so you get to see how all of the characters act if they actually went out instead of just fighting and putting people in Arkham Asylum or putting them in jail like Lex Luthor. What if they actually just killed the people or killed each other to fight for what they believed in? You'll see some of the league members, whether it's going to be a superhero, can be teaming up with the supervillain because they have the same ideas of what they think the future should be. And you get a different side of Superman in this, where he shows what he's willing to do to make the world safe. And I guess my question for everybody, do you think that the Justice League should kill instead of putting people in jail? Because look at what happens every time they put the Joker in jail. He ends up killing hundreds of thousands of people, and then they put him back in Arkham Asylum instead of, let's just take him out and be done with it. So, Bishop, I'll start with you.
Are we talking cinematic universe, or are we talking comic books, or are we talking, like you said, the animated?
We'll go with the anime. So,
okay, in the animated world, if you're going to have superheroes killing, then they're no longer superheroes. Because I believe that's the one thing that a superhero should not do, is kill. And so, because the moment you take that one life, you're no better than the criminals now that you're trying to bring in. And even though Superman is my guy, I would not want to live in a world where Superman is pissed and he's killing people. Because I believe in that movie. It wasn't that the one where he's on the watchtower, and they're like, oh, there's some college students are protesting their rule, and he obliterates the college students from space.
No, not in the movie. He does
Okay.
go to this one. He goes to a party where college students are at a party celebrating the Joker, and he takes out the entire building
Yeah.
because they were happy or
Hey,
celebrating
honey,
the Joker. So yeah, it happens.
can you hear me? My power cord.
All right, Miss Liz, what do you think? Do you think the Justice League should kill?
No, I totally agree with Bishop.
Okay.
Once the good guys start going over that line, they're no longer superheroes.
Even if they feel like they're doing it to protect other people, you don't think they should still kill anybody?
I don't think that you. No,
Okay. Lady Gray, how do you feel about that?
Sorry, my mouse thing. The one side I want to say, yes, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but like you guys said, it's a very slippery slope. Once you cross that line, I mean, I think you kind of devolve into more of a like The Boys, where there's just no boundaries, and I don't think we need the Justice League to turn into The Boys. I think they need to stay where they represent an ideal, something to strive for.
Okay. That's a good answer. Brad, what's your opinion on that?
No, I don't think they should kill for the reason that they need the supervillains to have something to do. Because to advance the story, you've got to have somebody to fight. So if you kill off all your villains, then you have nothing left to fight for.
Okay. I like that answer. Jedi Joe, what's your opinion on that?
Frozen. Frozen, guys.
No, you're moving.
You guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
My phone is actually frozen. I can't. It's
Well, the
trying to
video's still
catch
coming
up.
through.
I tell you what, I'm gonna lose you for. I tell you what, I'm gonna come back to me. Okay, I'm gonna kind of come back out and come back in.
Okay. Well, Calibus, what do you think about the idea of should Justice League kill?
No,
Thank you.
I totally agree with Bishop. You're a hero. Heroes don't kill. Okay, me personally, I'm getting tired of like now we have villains that are anti-heroes now. Harley Quinn, only because of her popularity do we relish, you know what I mean, this character, which is asinine. She's a psychotic killer. And now we make her into this anti-hero. It's crazy. Heroes don't kill. Now, Batman maims people, but he doesn't kill them, which is kind of funny. Because I think even Robin had said that. Oh yeah, we're not going to kill people, but we're going to seriously, give them a concussion or whatnot. I mean, you know what I mean. But I don't like. I mean, I really don't care for the anti-heroes that much. To me, they're still kind of villains because they're going that extra mile. Red Hood always goes that extra mile. He's one of my favorite anti-villains, but I don't call him a hero. He's not a hero. You know what I mean? Heroes just don't kill. It's just they're not judge, jury, and executioner. No matter how bad that situation gets, the moment they do that, to me, they're a villain.
Okay. I was going to say the Red Hood, he, originally I know when Batman first premiered in the 30s, he killed everybody. Then they stopped when they introduced the Joker and they gave people the option to let him live. So that was the first time he stopped killing and started doing what he does to this day, where he doesn't kill people. But yeah, when it comes to Red Hood does go over what he should be doing to be a hero, but he says he's doing it for the betterment of Gotham when he does what he does. But yeah, I think he's going too far. So yeah, that's
Ra's al Ghul says the same thing.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's doing it to save the planet, though. You know, another Thanos.
Yeah,
I hate villains like that. I'm doing it for the greater good of humanity or the universe, and I just like a good old fashioned. I'm doing it because you pissed me off.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
All right, so those were the 5 movies I suggested for the Justice League. Like Caliber said earlier, this set of movies has a lot of great ones. If we can talk about Batman, when you get to Batman, when they introduced his son, when we talked about Damian, I know Damian wasn't a character I was fond of originally, but then when they created the story and you get to see him, like when he becomes a part of the Teen Titans and some of the stuff he does there, I think he's a good character for that. And you're getting they let Robin grow up to become Nightwing, which I love that, and his relationship that he has in that storyline. And one of the other characters that they've introduced that I love would be Batwoman. And I know people probably saw the TV show on the CW, but the animated Batwoman is way better than that Batwoman that they showed there. Has anybody ever paid attention to what do you think about Batwoman herself? Because originally she did the same thing. She was killing also because she had a gun that she would just shoot people when she didn't feel like she wanted to fight. Has anybody ever thought that that's a way to go around that also? Miss Liz, I'll start with you on that.
I'm sorry, I haven't paid any attention to the new Batwomans. The only Batwoman I have any recollection of is the old 60s Batwoman. And she never killed.
Yeah.
As far as the new Batwoman, guys, I haven't seen any of it.
Okay. Lady Gray, have you seen Batwoman?
No, I haven't seen Batwoman. Like Miss Liz said, my recollection is the Batgirl from the 60s, and she definitely didn't kill. She outsmarted everybody. So no, I don't. But women can be vicious. So if somebody's going to do it, I can see it.
Yeah, see, I like the like you said, the Commissioner Gordon's daughter for Batgirl. She was a great character, but then, like they said, they introduced the Batwoman character. I think she was saved by Nightwing, or Batman saved her life, and then she decided to start wearing the costume and fight the crime on her own. So she's a totally different character from Batgirl. But yeah, that was her thing that she decided she was going to kill. So that was different. Brad, do you know anything about Batwoman?
No, I haven't seen any of the animated with her in it yet.
Okay. Brad, Bishop, what about you? Do you know anything? What do you think about Batwoman?
The CW show's horrible. It's horrible. I tried watching it, but God, when they sit there and she finds her way into Bruce Wayne's Batcave through the help of Alfred's son. I'm sorry, not Alfred, Lucius Fox's son. And she finds the bat suit, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it better." I'm like, "What? You got a suit?" And then the young kid tells you it's nearly the bat suit is nearly perfection. Oh, I'm gonna make it better for a woman. And I'm just like, "Oh my God." Anyway, yes, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. But no, Batwoman, I like the one that Bruce Timm and them had did where Batwoman was the daughter of a mob boss.
Yeah.
that one was really good. Then there was, Cassandra Cain is Batwoman. I like her, but like you said, you can't. Again, uh, first of all, your mistake number one is you're going to put on the suit with the bat symbol on and going around kicking butt, taking down thugs and then killing them in Gotham City under Batman's territory, and you expect him not to get offended? Yeah, no. So if you're automatically doing that, it's not believable in my mind. In my opinion, it's not believable, and I don't have time for it. And so keep your gender politics and your all of that stuff. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. I hated the TV show. I did manage to watch one season, and then I stopped. I couldn't watch it anymore. So that was all I did with that. But I do like what they've done animated wise, and I think the stories are really good there, but not what I've seen on TV. I've never been,
yeah.
the fan of. I have to say, when it comes to the CW, what they started off with was fantastic. I love Arrow, the first 2 to 3 seasons. I love The Flash, the first 2 to 3 seasons. And then after that, I stopped really enjoying it because I don't know if the writers never read the comic books. Maybe they were just writers or whatever. And whatever they were putting out, I don't know if they knew what these characters really did, so I just couldn't get into it. Calibus, what do you think about Batwoman?
I think it was sad that the writers that were originally writing the comic book character, they wouldn't let the Batwoman persona marry her girlfriend. DC said no.
Yeah.
Taboo. We were not going to do that. And the writers left on their principles of that. Here's your first alphabet community character for DC. It's Batwoman. She's a lesbian. And they wouldn't let her do that. Now, think about that then. That was then. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe. And now they would have been celebrating it. That's the only thing that I don't like about the comic shows now. You took Constantine, you made him bisexual. Batwoman is a lesbian. Then we're going to make her a black lady. I'm already confused because you're switching up the characters. I don't know what the playing field is now. Again, the character came out too strong on the CW. She was going to do something better than Batman, and it was going to be, you're using all Batman's equipment. How is it better? How is it better in your hands? It doesn't make any sense. Batman is Gotham City. CW's got another show. Well, after the death of Batman, Robin teams up with the criminals' kids to solve Batman's murder.
I have a feeling that show is going to get canceled.
It's better be canceled because it ain't worth nothing. I mean, where do we get this? It's like you said though, Marky Mark. The writers who write these shows and the writers that are coming up, they don't know the characters. Again, I always say, She-Ra goes to prom. What does She-Ra need with a prom? But this is these are the people that I was a big fan. You were like 4 when this thing came out, but you're a big fan, and now you're writing for it, and you're the showrunner. It makes no sense. None.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And when is that premiere? Gotham Knights probably comes out next month, I believe, or something like that. So we'll see what happens when it actually does.
We have the video game that's coming out, Gotham Knights.
Right.
And it doesn't have anything to do with the Arkham series, but it's kind of loosely based in there.
Yeah.
But I won't be watching that show. I've had enough. Every time that I go in there, it's a bit a bait and switch. They get you in there, and then all of a sudden they just throw this poor female character at us. And she could have all the best intentions, but they don't write her that way.
Yeah, that's how I
It
feel
just don't
about
matter
it.
that way.
But Jedi Joe, I don't know if you heard, but we were looking at Batwoman as a character. How do you feel about her? Because she also kills people at one point in the animated universe. They have changed their character for TV. Did you ever watch that on the CW?
Yeah, I think I heard your last question before. I had technical difficulties, but I think any superhero that's known for not killing and all of a sudden they start wanting to kill has to answer for what they do and don't do. Well, for example, unless someone's truly a threat, I would barely see Superman doing something like that. He was definitely for us. And then your other darker characters, I'm sure they would do something about it. But as far as is concerned, in the original, maybe the first few episodes, I did watch it. I did started to like it a little bit. I'm kind of into the hardcore superheroes that are involving women, because yes, men kind of seems to dominate certain things, but then, like I overheard Calibus say and everything, when you start changing what that person was from the comic book, who cares about their political beliefs, their everything beliefs? That's not what the comic book said. That's not how the comic book portrays our superhero that we grew up with. It seems like they want to throw all this trendy stuff in here to make it hip and to make it they think they're going to do anything when that's not actually the true story of, say, Batwoman. Whether she was this, that, and the other, we don't have to highlight it. She was a crime fighter, a vigilante, whatever. I think our writers need to stick to the original writing instead of adding everything else to it. You know what I mean? If I wanted reality in my movies and Star Wars and all that, I would just, do my own right here in my own living room or go outside. But if I want my fantasy and I want my superheroes to be like, I want it to be like it was in the comic book, the way Stan Lee wrote it, the way Detective Comics wrote it, that sort of thing. I don't need some, jack off to all of a sudden want to put their political and racial views and all that other stuff. Let's keep them separate. Let's keep them separate.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that because a lot of times, like I said, they change what these characters are to fit whatever they want them to be. So yeah, that's always something I get tired of seeing when I'm watching these things.
So, let me ask everybody a question. So Jedi Joe just brought up about Superman, and me and Bishop, we talk about this all the time. In Man of Steel, we get the reboot of Superman. And at the end of this movie, he kills General Zod. And a lot of people were freaking out and everything else and all this other stuff. But if you look at it in a reality of what it is, this is why Superman will never kill again. He has no idea how to imprison this superpowered being, and who said that he was going to make us suffer, make humans suffer, because he took Krypton away from him, and now he's going to take the world away from Superman. And this is why you get a character that won't kill, right? Does everybody understand that, agree with that? What is your thoughts on that before we close out the show?
Well, I have to agree with you on that, Calvis, because if you watch that scene when Superman has him by the head and he was like, I'm never going to stop. I'm going to continue unless you make me, and he was going to kill that family standing there in that corner until Superman broke his neck. And then you saw how devastated he was after killing General Zod, where he looked like he couldn't be consoled until Lois Lane came. So, yeah, I have to agree. He had to kill him in order for everything else to stop. Because if he survived, he was going to come back. He was going to continually do the exact same thing. So I have to say, yeah, that situation, he had to kill him. Miss Liz?
Yes, I agree. He gave him multiple chances to survive and to mend his ways, and there was no choice. He would have killed that family, and even if they'd found some prison to put him in, he would have come back out and killed people more. He was not going to stop until they stopped it permanently. So that's and yeah, he it was really rough on him, and I totally understand why. Because he was the last one from Krypton, basically.
Yeah. Lady Gray, your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it goes back to what I said earlier. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, even if you don't like it. You know, it's the hard decisions to make. But, you know, I definitely think that would have been something so hard to live with. And I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
Brad, your thought on that?
Well, I mean, he had to kill him in the long run because there was nowhere to put him where he couldn't escape. There's nothing on Earth that could hold him. So all he's going to do is kill more people. So the death of one versus the death of how many? It kind of makes sense in the long run.
Okay. Bishop, your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, yeah, he had to die. He had to die. I mean, like Calibus and I have had this discussion many of times. Kal-El had his powers for maybe 48 hours before the Kryptonians attacked. So where was he going to put Zod? You know, so I mean, there's nothing on Earth that could contain him. So you know, where could they have put Zod? So, and if Zod, you know, like you know, the people on the panel have said before, he was going to kill that family, and then that was just going to be just the start, and he was going to turn Earth into a pile of skulls if he could, and so Kal-El had to, you know, do what he had to do. But again, like I have said this before, this is what happens when you take these characters off the pages and you put them in a semi-realistic world or a realistic world. You can't just lock up the Joker anymore and expect him not to get out and do what he does again and again and again. And people look at Batman like, Batman, when are you going to kill this guy? Because in the comic books, you know, Batman does his job. It's the law that allows him to get out. You know, but in the comic book world, we accept that. But in reality, we would not accept that.
Yeah, he should definitely be on death row every time.
Yeah, he would be on death row. After he done went on his murderous spree and blew up the Daily Planet, he would have been on death row.
Yeah. Jedi Joe, your thoughts on that?
I would probably, by what y'all have been describing, I guess it's coming from a movie or something. So I think it probably took everything in his power to probably not want to do it, but you know, I get what everybody's saying. You know, he had to do it. You know, obviously, if you're on a planet that you're pretty much invincible on, and you got relatives and friends coming from your home planet, they're going to be a threat in some form of way. So, you know, you got to do something about it, especially if they're going to hurt the people that you love. So, yeah, you know, if Superman had to kill General Zod, then that's what had to be done. But like also what Bishop was saying is, you know, sometimes in our reality, you know, you get a particular individual that gets caught doing something wrong and ends up getting out of jail, repeats it, getting out of jail, repeats it. Then next thing you know, he's ended up killing somebody. And is really the judicial system actually doing what they're supposed to be doing? So yeah, then I think that's when it's time for our superhero to actually say, "Hey, I gave the law to you. Now you're not doing nothing about it, so I'm going to kill the Joker because he's going to keep coming back and keep, harassing the people of Gotham." So yeah, I think it's tough for a superhero to probably kill, but if he has to, then he has to.
All right, I guess we do our final thought for the night. I guess I would ask everybody, how do they think, would they be willing to watch any of the animated universe? I think some of it would be great if you want to get into it just to see. They have some really good movies out. I always have suggestions if you want to ask. So let me know your thoughts on that. Miss Liz?
I don't watch very many animated movies unless it's Disney, so I'm sorry on that area. Sorry.
Just give it a shot if you want to try one. They're for adults, so it wouldn't be a Disney movie, but it would be something interesting to see. Lady Gray, what about you? Have you ever thought about watching any of those?
I mean, I'll definitely watch animated movies. I guess I just have to find where I could watch them, as far as like maybe Hulu, or I think HBO maybe has them sometimes. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times in the afternoon when I'm just sitting there sewing, I'm looking for a good movie to watch. So definitely.
HBO Max has
Okay,
it.
I'm on it.
Okay, I guess I just lost everybody.
No, we're here.
Okay, all right. Brad, how about you?
Well, I'm not against it. I mean, I found a Rotten Tomatoes page with all the movies on it, and it shows you where they're streaming when you click on each movie. So
Okay,
I'm not against watching.
all right. That's good to hear. Bishop, I guess you've already seen all of them, I guess, right?
Yes, I actually have all of them,
Okay.
and I would recommend for anyone who was starting off. I would say start off with the Red Hood. That is to me, that is one of the best storylines that they've done, and they're all good. I mean, you can find something for a little bit. Everybody can find something. I mean, there's the comical ones. Like what was the one, Batman and Harley. That was funny. That was funny. There's the Superman and Superman versus no, Shazam versus Black Adam.
Yeah.
That is an awesome one too. So
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
only
there's
about
something for
30 minutes
everyone.
long. Yeah. Jedi Joe, what about you?
So it was our good friend, Mr. Calibus Rand, that I was talking to him about the Flash and just trying to learn more about him. So I'm just assuming that the Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, is the one I'm actually started watching maybe a day or two ago. I got into it, and so is there a list online, or can you send me a little in order, either between you or Calibus or Bishop, of how to actually watch them? Because I'd be very much interested in watching them myself, because like you said, they're a little bit adult in nature. They seem like they're staying with the comic. So yeah, I'm all for it. That sounds like a good time for watching, or a good watch party.
Oh, yeah, we can definitely send you a list of what those movies are in order, and it'll be a great watch party. So, Calibus, what about you? I know you probably have all of them as well, right?
I do.
You have the action figures?
I've got those. I got the figure. Matter of fact, behind me are the Gotham Knight figures.
Okay.
I've got most of them, and I believe on Batman Day, we're giving away a Funko Pop and this Red Hood figure.
Oh, okay.
So, here on the 757 Geek Fandom, I believe Big L told you all guys all about it, but in September, we're going to definitely do the giveaway for that. But I love them all. I mean, I love the Batman stories. That's when I bought it initially because I saw Son of Batman, because I never liked Damian. Never liked him. And then, like you said, as the stories kept going with him, I like the character. I like the fact that in the comic books, Batman, he went to hell to get his son back. Yes, that is a story. Batman goes to hell to get his son back, which is Apocalypse, but it's just pretty much the same thing. But I loved them. And if you guys ever really wanted to do like a watch party for that, I can always throw them up in our own little private room and we can run them.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for all of their input. I guess Jedi Joe, back to you.
Well, guys, I do believe that. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties again. So, what I would like to say is that Mark did a great job tonight, guys. My friend very, very much enjoyed it. Actually learned a few things. And I'd like to thank Mr. Wyatt Meeker for posting up some of his comments and everything while we were talking. And guys, we can't do the roundtable without each other, so I thoroughly enjoyed everybody trying to be on here. Just think, it could be you next as that mystery topic or guest. So keep that in mind. Now, of course, you have the opportunity to say yes or no, but the floor can sometimes be yours as well. As always, the 757 Geek Fandoms thanks the Cosmic Portal and Calibus Rand for all the cool things that he can do with this magical media. We like to thank you guys who are watching us online and everything, and we hope that you will continue watching. Again, Peter Beltnick, hey, happy birthday to you. And then next week, the roundtable will return on Wednesday nights. And I hope to see you again on Talking Geek. That's all I have for y'all tonight, guys.